At the beginning of the movie, we're shown a young man named Nick. Nick here tries to teach a little boy how to play the claw machine. After that, he leaves. When Nick is with his girlfriend Haley and his best friend Jonah, they will go to a remote place to find someone who has hacked MIT. Long story short, night falls, they stay at a hotel. Suddenly, Nick woke up because someone sent a message. Apparently, it was Nomad, the person who had hacked MIT. Nick woke Jonah up to track back where Nomad was. Nick also asked through the message, "Why did you hack the MIT site?" and threatened to report Nomad. However, Nomad hacked into Nick's network and recorded Nick through Haley's laptop camera. So Jonah and Nick, who are hackers themselves, immediately tracked Nomad's whereabouts and started hacking him. It wasn't long before they found his location, which was in Nevada. Long story short, morning came, and they traveled back to meet Nomad. On the way, Nomad sent a photo. Apparently, Nomad is smarter and knows their car through the highway CCTV. At the supermarket, Nick rethinks that he's not going to chase or look for Nomad. However, Jonah says that the guy can't be left alone because Nomad can control Haley's laptop. And it would be crazy if they didn't go after him immediately. Finally, Nick agrees with Jonah to look for Nomad. While at the gas station, Nick went out to buy coffee. Here, Haley asks Jonah, "Did Nick say anything to you about his leaving plans?" Jonah said no, so Haley thought that Nick didn't care about her. Not long after, Nick came out, but he fell down. So Haley and Jonah came to help him. Haley tried to comfort and help Nick, but Nick was cold. So Haley got angry and left. Nick chased after Haley and apologized. However, Haley is still angry and tries to throw away the necklace Nick gave her. After that, they continued their journey to find Nomad. It gets darker, and they arrive at an empty house. Jonah says that Nomad is right in this house. Nick and Jonah went downstairs to find Nomad and told Haley to wait in the car and lock the door. After entering, they found no one there. Instead, they found a basement and went into the basement. However, not long after, they heard Haley's voice calling for help. So they immediately ran to help Haley. However, they were too late because Haley was no longer in the car. After that, they suddenly saw Haley flying. Nick and Jonah tried to chase Haley. However, they all disappeared. Long story short, Nick woke up and was still confused about where he was. After that, Nick was taken to a room. There, Nick was interrogated by someone wearing a protective suit. His name was Dr. Damon. He was also the head of the transition team tasked with helping Nick adapt to his strange situation. Damon asked, "How did you first meet the signal?" Nick was still confused by his question. After that, Nick told him what happened. Damon explained that Nick had made direct contact with EBE, an extraterrestrial biological entity. Nick asked, "Why are you wearing that suit?" Damon replied, "Because you might be contaminated by aliens." Nick was even more confused. "Where are there aliens?" he asked. Damon also showed Nick a video of when they entered the empty house. In the video, Nick had unknowingly recorded aliens. After that, Nick was moved to a closed room. There, Nick managed to chat with Jonah through an air vent. Jonah says that he can't feel his body, especially his arms. Although they couldn't chat for long for fear of being caught, they communicated daily through the vents and planned to escape. Nick created a formula to understand each room that he passed through every day. Not long after, Nick accidentally saw Haley. However, he was not allowed to enter Haley's room. On one occasion, Nick finally escaped and tried to take Haley from that place. On the other hand, Damon found Nick not in his room. So Damon chased Nick, who allegedly ran away. Nick managed to pass through several doors without them knowing. However, when Nick passes through a door that uses a password, he finds it difficult to press the buttons. So finally, Damon managed to recapture Nick and Haley. The next day, Nick woke up and was already in the room with Haley. Nick and Haley tried to hold hands, but the officer let go. Nick was angry and shouted until he fell. Instead of being helped by the officer left them. When Nick saw his hand touching the oil, he felt something was wrong. And sure enough, Nick was shocked when he saw that his legs had been replaced with robot legs. Damon calmed Nick down through the speaker system. "Damon is just helping you to make Nick okay," he said. And after that, Nick tried to escape again with Haley. Damon stopped him and said that he was only protecting them here because it was very dangerous outside. However, Nick still wanted to escape, and Nick succeeded. Nick and Haley continue to walk to find help. However, suddenly a car passes by. So Nick and Haley took a ride in the car. Not long after, they arrived at the gas station. Nick and Haley got off there. Nick told Haley to wait outside by the truck. Meanwhile, Nick wanted to find a phone in a shop to call for help. After Nick went in and got the phone, it didn't work. After that, Nick saw that he was on the wanted list because he had been contaminated. On the other hand, the truck that Haley was waiting for was running, so Nick chased her. Nick managed to get on and told the driver to stop. However, the driver pushed Nick instead, so Nick fell down. When Nick was angry, he felt a huge strength in his legs, so Nick ran quickly. So Nick managed to catch up with the truck. Apparently, the driver just found out that Haley was in the truck, so the driver stopped his car. Nick finally left the driver on the road and used the truck to escape. However, Nick found a dead end. On the other hand, the grandmother was caught by Damon and brought in for interrogation. Damon asked, "Did you meet someone?" However, the grandmother was like a broken toy and answered incoherently. So Damon finally shot her. Back to Nick, who came to a house. They went in to look for a phone, but again and again it didn't work. After that, Nick looks at a map of the place, and after looking, there is only one straight road, which is over the bridge. They assumed that the road could be used to escape, because Nick also felt that he had passed through the bridge. Long story short, night fell. Nick felt that someone was following him. After checking, it turned out to be Jonah wearing a hazmat suit. They were both happy to be reunited. Jonah says that this is Area 51, and there is no way out other than crossing the bridge. Jonah also says that his hands have changed, as well as Nick's legs. Jonah also said that they were given tattoos of a number, and that number was the Area 51 code. Long story short, morning came. They traveled again to escape over the bridge. Apparently, they had to pass an inspection. They had no choice because it was the only way to escape. When one of the officers told him to get out, Jonah beat him up and went inside. There, Jonah tried to use the laptop, but because his fingers were now so big he couldn't type. Not long after, a bomb enters the place, and strangely, Jonah doesn't die. Instead, Jonah felt a great deal of strength in his hands. Finally, Jonah destroyed the truck's barrier and told Nick to leave. Jonah then went on a rampage, destroying the ground and knocking the officers off their feet. On the other side, Nick saw that Damon had blocked the road. With no choice, Nick stepped on the gas to hit them. However, one of the officers threw a nail trap that caused the truck's tires to explode, so the truck rolled over. Nick and Haley were lying helpless. Not long after, Haley was taken away by helicopter, so Nick got angry and got up. But Damon said, "Look at you. You're perfect because you have human strength and space technology." Damon also said that he was Nomad, the person they were looking for. And Damon is also the one who brought them here. Nick gets angry and tries to run away with lightning speed, which could result in the car being destroyed. Nick continued to run, and after Nick crossed the bridge, Nick hit the glass where Nick turned out not to be on Earth, but in space made similar to Nevada. Nick finally realizes that he has been kidnapped and is now with aliens who make Nick, Haley, and Jonah as material for their technology experiments. And after that, the movie ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.